You know exactly what you should be doing. You could explain it to someone else in 5 minutes. You've read the books, you've watched the videos, you understand the psychology, the strategy, the steps. And yet, here you are. Same year, same place, same unfinished version of yourself. If you were lazy, this would be easy to explain. But you're not lazy. You're sharp, observant. You think in systems. So why does understanding everything change so little? That question is what this is about. There's a particular kind of stuck that only intelligent people experience. It doesn't look like failure. It looks like waiting. Waiting until the plan is more complete. Waiting until you feel ready. Waiting until the timing makes sense. From the outside, it looks like patience. From the inside, it feels like a low, constant hum of dissatisfaction, the sense that your life is a draft that never gets published. Smart people don't usually get stuck from confusion. They get stuck from overthinking, getting trapped in your own head, endlessly analyzing a situation without ever arriving at a decision or action. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis, when the cognitive cost of evaluating options outweighs the benefit of choosing one. The very tool that makes you good at thinking, pattern recognition, scenario modeling, foresight, becomes the thing that keeps you circling instead of moving. There's also a second pattern hiding underneath the first, a fear of being seen trying. Many intelligent people grew up being praised for being smart, not for trying hard. So effort starts to feel risky, because if you try and fail, you can no longer hide behind, "I just didn't really go for it." Staying in planning mode protects the identity. Taking action threatens it. That's not laziness. That's a nervous system protecting something it thinks is fragile. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not secretly self-sabotaging out of some deep flaw. What you're experiencing is a mismatch between a brain built for certainty and a life that only ever offers probability. Intelligence raises the bar for what counts as ready. The smarter you are, the more variables you can see, which means the more ways a plan can fail before you've even started it. So the stillness you feel isn't weakness. It's a highly capable mind overestimating the risk of moving and underestimating the cost of staying still. That distinction matters. Once you see it clearly, you stop fighting yourself and start working with how your mind actually operates. Here's what's happening underneath in simple terms. Your brain has a system for evaluating threat, fast, emotional, automatic, and a system for long-term reasoning, slower, deliberate, effortful. When you imagine taking a real risk, applying, launching, leaving, starting, the threat system activates before the reasoning system finishes its analysis. Think of it like a smoke alarm in a kitchen. It can't tell the difference between a fire and burnt toast. It just senses change and sounds the alarm. For people who think a lot, this matters more, because thinking itself can trigger the alarm. Imagining failure vividly enough produces the same physiological signal as experiencing it. So your brain, trying to protect you, treats imagined failure as real danger and quietly steers you back toward planning, researching, preparing, anything that feels like progress without exposing you to risk. This is sometimes called the comfort of competence, staying in the part of the process where you already feel capable, researching, analyzing, refining, instead of the part where you might not be, doing, shipping, being judged. It's not that you don't want to jump, it's that some part of you is still calculating the exact depth of the water, forever. None of this changes through willpower. It changes through small structural shifts that work with the brain's wiring, not against it. Your brain resists big, irreversible feeling choices, so stop offering it one. Replace "change my career" with "send one message today." Smaller units don't trigger the threat response the way large ones do. Motivation is a feeling, not a decision-making tool. Intelligent people often wait to feel ready, but readiness is usually a result of action, not a precondition for it. Set a time. Show up regardless of the feeling. Tell yourself explicitly, a failed attempt is data, not a verdict on who I am. This single shift reduces the emotional stakes of trying, which lowers the threat signal before it even fires. Open-ended timelines let the planning brain run forever. A deadline, even a self-imposed one with something at stake, forces the slower reasoning system to hand control back to action. Ask yourself honestly, is this next step preparation or avoidance wearing the costume of preparation? Often the answer arrives quickly if you're willing to hear it. Imagine your mind as a very advanced navigation system, one built to chart the safest, most optimal route before allowing the car to move. For most decisions, that's a strength, but some roads can only be mapped by driving on them. No amount of analysis will produce the missing data, only motion will. So the model is simple. Thinking reveals the terrain, moving reveals the path. You don't need more certainty, you need permission to move with the certainty you already have, which, for someone like you, is almost always more than enough. You were never the problem. Your mind was just doing what it's built to do, protecting you from a danger that, in this case, doesn't actually exist. You don't have to silence the voice that wants more certainty. You just don't have to listen to it before you take the next small step. The years you've spent thinking were not wasted. They were preparation for a version of you that's finally ready to move. Not because the fear is gone, but because you've stopped waiting for it to be.